Now let's take a look at how do you make images floating. Notice this image on the screen here, picture of me and my favorite guitar, Jezebel. And notice that the image is off to the right of the paragraph. It's not in line with the paragraph, it's actually next to it, and the paragraph wraps next to the image. It avoids the image as it wraps. This is what I call a floating image, and this is how it's done. Here's the paragraph in question, there's the text, and there's the image. Now remember, the image is part of the paragraph. Image is an inline element, even though in this case it's floating. Notice also that we have here a tag with so much stuff in it that it wraps around to two lines, or I've wrapped it intentionally around to two lines. HTML considers all of that white space from the end of that attribute all the way over to the beginning of this attribute to be one space. It does that in the middle of tags as well as in flowing text. It treats them that way everywhere. The way we make the image float is with this attribute right here, align equals right. When we put align equals right in the image tag, it makes the image float to the right side, and all the text will go next to it. Now, a couple of things we should note about this. First of all, let's go ahead and delete that align equals right and look at the browser. It's educational to do this sometimes. So there we have it. The image is now the first character, effectively, of the paragraph. The paragraph starts over here, you got the image, and then you have all the text after that. That's what you would expect to have happen. When you put that align equals right in, then the image floats to the right. Now what would happen if we put the image in the middle of the paragraph instead of at the beginning? It's good to know why we're doing these things the way that we are. Now let's take a look at it in the browser and see what happens. We still have the align equals right, and so it's floating over to the right partway through the paragraph instead of at the beginning of the paragraph. So basically, it's after the word in, and so the line that the word in is on is where it starts to float. And it didn't fit over there, it wrapped, and so otherwise it would have started right on that same line. And it floats after that. And if we were to put it at the end of the paragraph, and then look at it in the browser, it would float down even farther. Now, I wanted it to line up with the very top of the paragraph, and that's why I put it before the first character of the paragraph, because that's where it made sense to me that it should go. A little misformatted there, but we'll leave that alone for now, because HTML doesn't care. Now, personally, we have a little extra character at the bottom there. I must have hit a funny key. I think because my face is facing off the edge of the page, which is partly because my nose is marvelously crooked, I need to put this image on the left side instead of the right side because it seems to be drawing the eye away from the page. So all I have to do is take the word right and make it say left. And there it is, on the left side instead of the right. Notice also that I have both a title attribute and an alt attribute. I've done both in this case because I actually wanted the effect of being able to put my cursor over the image and have it say something. And the alt attribute is there, of course, because in this case, the image is actually important to the content of the page. It's what the page is about. And so people with non-graphical browsers will be able to know that that's an image of me and Jezebel. Finally, Let's take a look at one other aspect of floating images. Notice the space here between the image and the text is rather slim. I'd like there to be a little bit more space there. There's an attribute for the image tag, and I'm going to go and put this on the next line, called hSpace. There's a corresponding attribute called vSpace, which we don't need in this case. hSpace controls the gutter to the left and right of the image. And I'm going to give it 10 pixels. Now it'll divide that evenly between the left and right side, so I'll get 5 pixels on the right, and it'll actually move everything over a few pixels as well. We'll go ahead here and reload and watch what happens. The image moved over a little bit, and there's a little more space there, a little more of a gutter. I like that better. So that's most of what we need to know about the image tag. There's a couple of other little attributes that we'll talk about in our next lesson.